Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight, 30th April, for this special council meeting. I welcome you all to the gallery and also the virtual gallery. Yes, I'd like you to all stand so we can acknowledge our Central Goldfields Shire Council respectfully acknowledges and extends its appreciation for the Dja Dja Wurrung people, the traditional owners of the land we are standing on today. We pay our respects to leaders and elders, past, present and emerging, for they hold the memories, the traditions and the hopes for the Dja Dja Wurrung people. Almighty God, we ask you to be present in this council, direct and guide our deliberations. We ask that you grant us wisdom and sensitivity as we deal with the business of Central Goldfields Shire. May each decision that we advance the well-being of all our residents. This we pray. Amen. Please be seated. Item 2 on the agenda is apologies. I don't believe there are any apologies for tonight's meeting. However, our CEO, interim CEO, has got COVID and will be watching from up there. Hello, Sally. Number 3, declarations of conflict of interest. Does any councillor have a conflict of interest on any item on the agenda tonight? No. Thank you. We go to items of business. The first item of business on tonight's agenda is on page 3 and is entitled Draft Rating and Revenue Plan 2025-2029. Councillors, do I have a motion? Councillor Murphy.
The recommendation? The Council endorses the Draft Revenue and Rating Plan 25-29 provided as an attachment to the report for community consultation. Give public notice of its Draft Revenue and Rating Plan 25-29 on Council's website and invites written submissions on from Thursday the 1st of May, tomorrow, until Thursday the 22nd of May 25. In reliance of its community engagement policy, resolves that any person who makes a written submission and requests in writing to be heard in support of their submission will be heard by a hearing of Council to be held on the 4th of June 25, commencing at 6 p.m. at the Maryborough Town Hall, if required.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Do I have a seconder for this motion? Councillor Marr. Councillor Murphy, would you like to speak to this motion?
So through the recommendation, we're really saying that it's out there for the community to have a look at the draft revenue and rating plan, and then it's open to viewing from the 1st of May until the Thursday the 22nd of May, and then it can come into. If you want to come into the council and talk about it, you can, or you can put written submissions in. So all those things are they're available. I'd like to say this: the plan, the draft policy will be at the council office in hard copy in Nolan Street to view. It is important to know that the fire surface property levy is in the rate notices. This is a state government tax. Revenue goes directly to the state government after Central Goldfields Shire collects it. This has been happening for some time for the state government. In coming years, it will be called Emergency Services and Volunteers Fund tax. Say all ratepayers, be prepared in the next few years. Be prepared in the next few years. This is on our rates notice. We are collecting money for the state government. We don't put the money into our ratepayers, our income. It goes out. And it's really important to know if someone doesn't pay their rates, we still have to pay this state government tax. So if 30 or 40 people don't pay their rates, we still have to pay it. So I just want people to make sure they understand that for now and for the future. So I've had my little triumph. I'd just like to recommend this, give it to the community, and thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Marr.
No
would you like
further.
to speak to that?
No further comment on that, Madam
Does
Mayor.
any councillor oppose the motion? Therefore, councillors, there's no opposition to the motion. I will now put it to the vote. All in favour? That is moved anonymously, carried anonymously. Unanimously. We can do anonymous. 4.2, councillors, the second item of business on tonight's agenda is on page 30 and is entitled Draft 25-26 Budget. Councillors, do I have a motion for this one? Councillor Murphy.
The recommendation, budgets, which I love, endorse the draft 25-26 budget, incorporating the 4-year budget, provided as attachment 1 to this report for community consultation. Give public notice of the draft 25-26 budget on Council's website. Invites written submissions from Thursday, tomorrow, 1st of May, until Thursday, the 22nd of May 25. In reliance of its community engagement policy, resolves that any person who makes a written submission and requests in writing to be heard in support of the submission will be heard by a hearing of council on Wednesday, the 4th of June 25, commencing at 6 p.m. at the Maryborough Town Hall, if required.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder for this motion? Councillor Breen? Councillor Murphy, do you wish to speak?
So this is like the rate and revenue recommendation. It's similar, but it's the budget. So the public, everyone can look at it for 20 days, can take it in, can pore over it if they want to. And there will be people who want to do that. And if you want to come in and want to make a submission or even just talk about it for 5 minutes in front of councillors, that's fine. That happens in May. And then June we can take the submissions. But I think I'll talk about this as not verbatim, but I'd like to talk about this. The draft 25-26 draft budget has been developed in reflective of Council's priorities as outlined in Council's long-term community vision and Council Plan 21 to 25. Now we're working on now for another 4 years, so it'll encase that as well. But this one is 21 to 25. The draft budget continues to deliver services and capital works to the community within the 3% rate cap. Now remember this is within the 3% rate cap. We are not going in hand in pocket. We're not going back to the state government and say, give us 6%. We're not going, give us 10% because we stuffed up somewhere. We're trying to be fiscal responsible to try and make it work within the 3% for our community and not ask for more money from the state government like some others are. So, the State Government Council waste charges have been increased by 11% for standard waste charges and varying increases for non-standard waste charges. This is to ensure that the full cost of Council's waste management function continues to be fully funded by the waste charge. So waste is fully funded. The surplus for this year in the draft 25-26 budget is proposed to be $1.4 million. Now, I'll get the director of this area to talk about this in a minute, after I explain this. This can be compared to an audited deficit for the year of 23-24 as 5 million and a forecast surplus for 24-25 is 723,000. Forecast surplus. So we haven't lost the 5 million. Now that we're not 5 million down. It means that we're 723,000 up at 24-25. Now, could I ask the general manager? Am I fairly correct on that?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, through the Chair, that's correct. The audited income statement, as at the 30th of June, did report a $5 million deficit, and the income statement is made up of sort of cash items and non-cash items, so it has depreciation in there as well. The forecast surplus for 24-25 is just over 700,000. And the budgeted surplus for 25-26 is just over $4 million.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Same, in accordance with Council's community engagement policy, we go out to the public. So an invitation will also be extended to people making submissions on the 4th of June. So that is something that people can do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Councillor Graham, do you wish to speak to this?
Thank you, Chair. I just wish to reinforce that the community is completely welcome to be active and involved in this process with both the rating and revenue plan and the budget, as Councillor Murphy has already said. I wish simply to echo that, and I think it represents a marvellous opportunity for genuine participation. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anyone in opposition to this motion? If there's no opposition, I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? That is carried. Thank you. Item the third item for business tonight is page 90, and it's entitled Places for Play, the Play Space Strategy Draft. Do I have a motion, councillors? Councillor Long.
I would like to move that Council endorse its draft play space strategy provided as attachment 1 and 2 to the report for community consultation or a 3-week period, and number 2, receive a further report following the completion of the consultation process.
Thank you, Councillor Long. Do I have a seconder for this motion, please? Councillor Bartlett. Councillor Long, do you wish
Thank
to
you, Mayor.
speak to this?
I'm happy to move that Council endorse the draft play space strategy. As an early childhood educator myself, I know how important play is in the development in early childhood. Play allows children to use their creativity whilst developing their imagination, dexterity, and physical, cognitive, and emotional strength. Play is important to healthy brain development, and it is through play that children at a very early age engage and interact in the world around them. The draft play space strategy was identified in Council's Active Central Goldfields Recreation and Open Space Strategy 20 to 29, ROS for short, and it is a mouthful, which was adopted by Council on the 22nd of September 2020. The document recommended that Council undertake a play space inventory review and utilise the results to develop a play space strategy. Whilst reading the report, I was impressed by the sheer number of play spaces available to our community, especially for such a small shire. A shout out to the Acting General Manager Infrastructure Assets and Planning, Mr. Jones, and his park and garden staff for keeping these play spaces in such great, neat and tidy condition all year round. Key issues pertaining to playgrounds identified through the ROS include non-compliance, lack of fencing and equipment being out of date, of poor quality or condition, safety and requiring a high level of maintenance. Future needs, improvements and opportunities for playgrounds specified in the ROS and through consultation with relevant internal stakeholders included compliance, including disability access, nature play, multi-age playground and sensory play opportunities. The play space strategy aims to provide council with a framework that will guide the planning, provision and management of play spaces, ensuring an equitable, inclusive, diverse, safe and engaging mix of play opportunities across the Shire. Financially, council received a $30,000 grant through the Victorian Government Local Sports Infrastructure Fund and has contributed $45,000 to undertake the play space strategy. The project included a period of communal consultation that led to more than 300 submissions, the findings of which will be considered when developing this draft strategy. I'm happy to move this draft strategy. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Long. Councillor Bartlett, do you wish to speak to this motion?
Just like to reiterate what Councillor Long has just said, but reading the report as well, yeah, very impressed by the community's input. That even on the social media stuff, there was thousands of responses. Reached over 11,000 people being reached and engaged, post-engagement of 1,368. So well done to the community for taking it on board.
Thank you. Do we have any councillor that opposes this motion? Given there's no opposition, I would like to put it to the vote. All in favour? Thanks, carried. Thank you very much. Going on to item 4.4 of your agenda. This is the fourth item of business, page 255, and is entitled Princess Park Grandstand. Councillors, do I have a motion, please? Councillor Murphy.
Princess Park Grandstand. I'm going to say it's Princess, before we get the recommendation, clear? Princess Park Grandstand is also underneath the grandstand.
Excuse me, could you specify your motion, please?
Have to do it. So I'm just about to clarify the motion. Madam Mayor, I'm clarifying the motion because it says Princess Park Grandstand. I was clarifying that the grandstand is underneath the grandstand as well. It's not just the seats. Anyway, got that out of the road. Recommendation. Endorse this draft Princess Park Grandstand change room concept design provided as attachment to this report. The community consultation for a 3-week period, e.g. receive a further report following the completion of the consultation process. Bang. That's the recommendation.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for this motion? Councillor Meyer. Councillor Murphy, would you like to talk to it? You go back, please.
Okay. So, grandstand's 150, 60, 70, 80 years old. Been there forever. It's like part of Maryborough, like this town hall is. It's for historical and heritage situation. It's hard to keep it right all the time because it is a wooden fretwork grandstand, and heritage-wise, it's wooden fretwork, so you can't change anything. But it's hard to do the wooden fretwork ones. There's not many in the. I think there's only 2 in Victoria. And we work hard over the years to keep it right. Underneath in the actual where the change rooms are, they haven't been. I can remember in the 60s. So I reckon that nothing's changed in there really for 70, 80 years. And what this is doing is allowing these things to change. So there's a new design layout with the existing space. Retrofitting of change rooms to be female friendly, players and umpires. And this is a good one. Renewal of failed structural elements that support the historic grandstand at the junction between a grandstand and the new club room addition, which is the one in 1979 where they had the club rooms upstairs, and that was the addition. So there's some things failed there. That's important. Redesign of layout to allow for more co-sharing of the facilities. So refurbishment of changing rooms and toilets. It's all gutted and new, but there's a plan in here. People can look at it. We're looking at a possible to lift access to the grandstand, allow universal access to the grandstand, possible. Increase disability access through the facility as per the Disability Discrimination Act. Upgrade the canteen to make it compliant with health and safety regulations. Provision of a fit out for purpose change facilities that meet the requirements of state sporting associations, AFL, netball, cricket, etc. for players and umpires. That will bring components within a significant historical grandstand up to current standards, making it more user-friendly in its long history as a valued community sporting facility. And something that's going to last for another 100 years. Ensure the grandstand will be more accessible and inclusive. Increase the functionality and use of a valued community asset. So how do we get some money for this? Okay, well, we counted $200,000 in to start with, I think it was 23, 24, then to do in the budget in 23, 24, and to get to this stage. So in November 22, the Victorian Government made a budget commitment of $550,000 to female-friendly change rooms at Princess Park. This is administered through the Victorian Government Sport and Recreation Department. So Council put $200,000 in the 23-24 budget process, and that's probably, at the end of this, it's probably near its end, to when we've got the design, got everything, and then we've got the 500. Do we need more? If we need more, we'll have to go and get it. So it's a priority projects plan to assist with developing a project scope. And it's a significant investment. Don't think the $500,000 will get us over the line. We'll have to get more money from somewhere. So the grandstand, if ever anyone's been there, the draft is looking at moving the change rooms to the back of the change room areas and having a long hallway at the front. And
Councillor, would you like an extension of time?
yes, please.
Yeah.
Another 2 minutes.
I move another 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Councillors, you're in agreement of extra 2 minutes extension of time?
My 2 minutes is 4 minutes, but anyway, 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Okay. So you really need to have a look at this. Everyone who's looking in here, which is, I know there's hundreds, in here there is a draft of it. Now, we need to get this. So the cricket, the football, the netball, the Highland Society, grab this, have a look at it, and see what it develops with you guys and females or whoever, people. So it is, to me, we've had a couple of drafts. This is, to me, this nearly hits the mark. So take it out to the public, have a look at it, and those who played the most to sport, they look and say if it fits in with you guys, you people, you whatever. But it's good. You've got female and male umpire change rooms for the first time.
Councillor, your time's up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Meyer, would you like to speak to the motion, please?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Also, thanks to Mr. Murphy. Yeah, I think it's a great thing for the community. Obviously, with the cricket club and the footy club and the Highland Games and Energy Breakthrough, it's a great progress and step. Obviously, with Mr. Councillor Murphy saying about the female-friendly thing, I think it's a fantastic thing for football and sports in Maryborough. That would be all. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Meyer. Does any councillor oppose this motion? There's no opposition. I'll put it to the vote. All in favour? That is carried. Thank you very much. Now we're going on to our final item of business this evening, and that is on page 304 of your agenda. It's entitled Council Approval to Allow Completion of Works Under Contract G1760-23 Flood Emergency Works, and that's bracketed in Civil Panel of Suppliers. Do I have a motion, councillors? Councillor de Villiers.
Thank you. The recommendation from officers is, or the recommendations are, there are 3 recommendations, that council notes the report approves the late tender process advertised on the 3rd of March 2025 under the umbrella of contract B 1760-23 be allowed to be executed under the said contract G 1760-23. And thirdly, authorizes the CEO under delegation to ensure that recommendation 2 above is promptly actioned.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder to this motion?
Second that.
Councillor Bartlett? Councillor de Villiers, do you wish to speak to this motion?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think this is self-explanatory. As it's stated in the report, there was an unexpected administrative delay and approved contract timelines couldn't be met. My understanding is that the tenders have gone out and needs to be awarded, but that we need an approval of an extension of a year for the works to be done. So hopefully we will see some progress there.
Thank you, Councillor de Villiers. Councillor Bartlett?
Yeah, I'd just like to note as well that the officers will prepare a report for the future Audit and Risk Committee meeting to brief them on this matter and how it occurred, as well as the improvements which will be put in place to mitigate further occurrences of this nature from happening. It's just pleasing to see that that's in there.
Thank you, Councillor Bartlett. Do we have any councillors that oppose this motion? Being no one opposing, I'll put it to the vote. All in favour? And that is carried. We now move on to item 5, and councillors and officers, members of the gallery, that concludes the business on tonight's special council meeting. I want to thank you all for joining us. Unfortunately, we had a bit of trouble, which is no fault of our own. It's out there in the ether, I think. And thank you for your attendance. I declare the meeting closed. Thank you.